So after watching Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals tonight, I've got a new nickname for Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. They are quite simply the dudes. Now, each dude actually scored 33 points tonight and helped lead the Dallas Mavericks to their 116-107 victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves. I have to say, this was, if you were a Timberwolves fan, extraordinarily difficult to watch. You know, outside of maybe 10 minutes between the third and the fourth quarter of the game when Anthony Edwards actually woke up and had, you know, one of those crazy, spectacular dunks that he's famous for. Outside of that, it was at times extraordinarily sloppy and challenging to watch, specifically if you were a Timberwolves fan. Now, if you were Patrick Mahomes and all of the other superstars in the stands in Dallas, including Travis Kelce, you were certainly happy with how Luka and Kyrie and the rest of the supporting cast actually played for the Dallas Mavericks tonight. Now, Derek Lively did get hurt and was out for most of this game. I mean, it was a golden opportunity for the Minnesota Timberwolves to actually mix things up a bit and see if they couldn't figure out how to actually secure a victory. Now, they did mix their defenses up, which was a good thing for the Timberwolves, and it did slow down the Dallas Mavericks. But what happened in the fourth quarter, with about 5 minutes to go in the game, was straight out of the Minnesota Timberwolves playbook from this particular year. The Dallas Mavericks actually implemented a swarming defense attack. That swarming defense attack took what was a tie game and turned it into a 9-point victory for the Dallas Mavericks. It was as if the Timberwolves did not know what actually hit them with the swarming defense attack by the Dallas Mavericks. Yes, Kyrie hit a couple clutch shots, including a corner pocket three. And of course, Luka hit some clutch shots down the stretch as well. But if you look at the last 5 minutes and you go back and you watch the tape, you'll see exactly what I mean by the Dallas Mavericks swarming defense. I have to say, you know, entering this particular series between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Dallas Mavericks, I thought things would be a little closer down the stretch. I thought that the Minnesota Timberwolves would win some of these close games. But what we're actually finding is the dudes between Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving are simply stronger than Anthony Edwards and another sort of subpar performance by Karl Anthony Towns tonight for the Timberwolves. You cannot have subpar performances by anybody who's a superstar in the National Basketball Association playoffs. Karl Anthony Towns, over the first 3 games of this particular series, has not in any way delivered for the Minnesota Timberwolves the way you would expect him to actually deliver, the way he and Ant-Man actually delivered during the first 2 series. You would think that the Dallas Maverick defense would actually be easier for the Timberwolves to deal with than the Denver Nuggets defense, but that is actually not the case. The Dallas Mavericks have a game plan, and Jason Kidd, at least through the first 3 games, has outcoached Chris Finch and the Minnesota Timberwolves coaching staff. Look, nobody in the history of the association has ever come back from an 0-3 series deficit in an NBA playoff series. It has never happened before. 194 times a team has been 0-3. 194 times that team has still lost the series. So we turn our attention now to what is potentially going to happen on Tuesday night. Will the Minnesota Timberwolves actually show up? Will the Minnesota Timberwolves completely fall apart and Dallas will win the game in a blowout? Or will we have another close game down the stretch which the dudes will find a way to win? Look, if I had to pick what's actually going to happen on Tuesday night, I would say it's the third thing I mentioned. The dudes will find a way to win, because that, my friends, is what these dudes do. All right, that's it for tonight's Underrated. Hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, please go and subscribe. And, of course, like this video. Check out our Big Sports website at underrated.media for the Underrated. I am Dave DeBaugh, wishing you all a tremendous rest of your sports viewing day. To the guitar riffs we go.